It's time for another Baldur's Gate 3 guide. This time I'll talk about which race you should pick for your character. Welcome to Pack Tactics. I wish kobolds were a playable race. I mean, there are mods, but, I would prefer not to mod. Let's just start. The race you should play is... whatever you want! Exactly. End of video. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I'm kidding, of course, but you should play whatever you want, as this choice isn't going to ruin your playthrough. In my playthrough for my channel, I'm playing a Dragonborn, and that's probably the worst option you can pick. It really doesn't matter that much. Obviously, that's not to say that there's no optimization or min-maxing you can do. There's plenty here. Personally, I see at least two ways to optimize in this video game. First, you could optimize how much you can do in a single long rest. This implies durability for little resource cost, or just good ratio of damage done per damage taken. Second, you can optimize how much content you can get through in real life time. This implies high damage numbers, allowing you to blitz through combat and get right into the story. I'm not speedrunning the game, I'm trying to make it challenging by not long resting a lot. Everyone can have their own goals when playing the game. The way I like to play the game is treating it like it's a dungeon crawl. Anyways, in this video, I'll explain how to make well-rounded characters based on your class or classes by picking a specific race. Let us begin. Interestingly enough, races follow a Tasha's book-esque implementation. They all get +2 to one stat, and +1 to another. You get to pick which, so it doesn't really impact your choice for race whatsoever. Besides this, a lot of races have been rebalanced, and Very Human didn't make it in the game. The races that are here are Human, Elf, Drow, Half-Elf, Half-Orc, Halfling, Dwarf, Gnome, Tiefling, Githyanki, and Dragonborn. Most of these have good mechanical reasons to be played, others not so much. Generally, if you're looking for a mechanical reason, you pick a race for their proficiencies in armor or shields, certain weapons, or spellcasting. I'll start with advice for marshals. Pick whatever you want. Based on the reasons I just listed, there are not many impactful benefits left for marshals. The two suggestions I can give you are the Wood Elves, be it half-elf or full elf. The reason why is for their additional movement speed of 35 feet instead of 30. Mobility is very useful in this game. The melee marshals need to move into melee. The ranged marshals need to move away from the fights. Take cover. Cover is the best defense in the entire game. Both of these elves also get dark vision, which will be very useful later in the game. If it's too dark, you have disadvantage to your attacks. We don't like that. That's why dark vision is really good. But Kobold, what about half-orcs for melee marshals? They aren't really an outstanding option, just like 5e. The damage increase for savage attacks is small, and relentless endurance is even less meaningful in Baldur's Gate because of easier yo-yoing. Anyways, now for the rockstar level stuff. This video is sponsored by Imaria, the Pillars of Power. Elminster himself is involved in this product. No, not him. I'm talking about the real one. This guy.
Oh there, wanderers. Stay thy course to indulge an old man.
And we've got Keith Baker. Imaria is a massive campaign setting for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. It's a land of dreams and nightmares featuring vast continents floating in the sky, massive underground cities, and fantastical creatures. It's set in a realm based around the 4 pillars of power: ethereal chronomancy, psionics, mana, and the anti-magic known as Ioessence. Together, these powers shape a vibrant and extensive world, cut off from extraplanar forces by a net of temporal energy known as the Veil. This book contains a rich world with detailed lore written by rock stars from the tabletop industry. There's tons of interesting factions and quests to hooks to explore. There's 3 new classes and over 20 new subclasses. New feats, new magic items, new spells, new monsters, and new optional rules including vehicle building to modify your own airship and much more. Check out Imaria, the Pillars of Power on Kickstarter. This is the coolest sponsor I've ever gotten. Tons of crazy people worked on this. It's an adventure you don't want to miss out on. Back to the video. Anyways, now for the interesting portion of this video, Spellcasters. The benefit of a race is very dependent on what your class already gets. So let's go through this step by step. Builds that include druid and cleric levels ensure that you have proficiency in light and medium armor as well as shields. These are benefits races could give you but are not necessary. In this case, I would recommend something like Drow. It gives you proficiency in hand crossbows, and at level 5 you get once per long rest free cast of darkness. To sum up darkness real quick, darkness is like an emergency cover. It's really good. Drow also gets superior dark vision, proficiency in perception, and more. Alternatively, Dwagar, I don't know how to pronounce them. They also get superior dark vision, and infinite uses of the invisibility spell out of combat from level 5 and onwards. This makes it incredibly easy to set up surprises, although it was already easy. It's still incredibly strong. Or maybe you could go Asmodeus Tieflings. They get fire resistance, dark vision, darkness as I mentioned before, and more. The other elf options are not a bad choice either, they just add even more on other builds. Other builds might not give you all of these benefits. Wizards, warlocks, sorcerers, and most bards, for example, do not get proficiency in shields. A way to gain this proficiency is either picking human or half-elf. They also get proficiency in light armor, but I heavily recommend you pick wood elf. Or you could pick half drow, you get darkness. Moving on, I said hand crossbows are a nice pick through your race, if you already have armor proficiencies. So if you have, for example, a light cleric 1 bard X build, which is a really strong option by the way, you need neither weapon or armor proficiencies through your race, at which point you're free to do whatever you want. Maybe you want to go Deep Gnome, which gets superior dark vision, advantage on stealth checks, and advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws. Who am I kidding? I wouldn't be a real kobold if I recommended you this. Stay away from gnomes, they're horrible. If you follow glitter gold, that's suboptimal. We hate glitter gold. Yeah! Glitter gold bad! To summarize some other options which aren't really optimal all that often, we have Dragonborn, which gets resistance to 1 damage type, and it gets a Dragon's Breath as an action, which is very small. The Dragon's Breath does bad damage too, by the way. The benefits here aren't great, but they look really cool. If you really want to play Dragonborn, I recommend getting fire resistance. Fire is very common in this game. Githyankis get light and medium armor proficiencies, but they don't get the shield proficiency. And normally you're out for the medium armor and shield proficiency. So that's why this option isn't really that good. Astral Knowledge is pretty useful for out of combat shenanigans. And you also get some psionic spellcasting. The psionic spellcasting is okay, but the enhanced sleep is once per long rest. You sadly can't cast it as a ritual because it's a feature rather than a spell. You also get Misty Step later on, which is okay. Dwarves have lower speed, it's 25 feet, but they do have dark vision, which is good. Shield dwarves also get light and medium armor proficiency, whereas gold dwarves get some pitiful additional hit points. And finally, we also have halflings, which also has lower speed, 25 feet. They get the ability to reroll 1s on attacks, ability checks, and saving throws, and some other things. Lightfoot halflings get advantage on stealth, whereas Strongheart gets advantage on saving throws against poison and resistance to poison damage. Overall, the hot races are winning both in looks and in mechanics. But overall, play whatever you want. It's your character, not mine. End of video. By the way, shoutouts to the Baldur's Gate 3 wiki. It's the best wiki, the other one sucks. If you liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye bye!